Every anime morning scene has the same thing. One character hunched over a bowl of miso soup before the day starts. It's not just set dressing. It's been there every morning in Japan for over 1,000 years. And what's actually inside that bowl is something most people have never thought to ask about. Previously, we followed Koji, the mold running a cartel operation inside your food, quietly manufacturing enzymes, breaking down everything around it, answering to no one. But Koji was never working alone. There's a second operation running underneath Miso, a 2-agent job so well disguised that for centuries nobody knew it was even happening. They just thought it tasted good. This is the Fermentation Files, and today we're opening up the case file on the oldest cover-up in Japanese cuisine. Hit that like, grab a bite, and let's spread it like miso. Hitokuchi dake. Japan has the longest healthy lifespan of any country on earth, and scientists keep pointing to the same thing: fermented food. Miso specifically. A paste that's been quietly running a 2-agent biological operation in your kitchen and possibly extending your life for 1,300 years. Here's what's actually inside it. The setup. Planting the inside man. In Japanese, the initial mixing stage, when koji, soybeans, and salt are combined and packed into the crock, is called shikomi. The characters mean to put in and to set up. Brewers use it, fermenters use it, and so do stage magicians and con artists. The shikomi is the setup, the moment everything is put in place before anyone knows what's about to happen. The operation starts with koji. Aspergillus orzae colonizes a grain, rice, barley, or soybean. It doesn't matter. What matters is what koji does while it's in there. It produces amylases that dismantle starch into simple sugars, and proteases that shred protein chains into free amino acids, raw material, the kind of molecular currency that makes everything else possible. Then, koji gets mixed with cooked soybeans and salt, a lot of salt, typically 10 to 13% of the total weight. And here's where the operation gets interesting, because that salt isn't a flavoring decision, it's a hit list. At that concentration, salt is lethal to most microbial life. Everything that would rot the batch, spoil the flavor, or compromise the mission, eliminated. The salt isn't seasoning the miso, it's selecting who survives. The mixture gets packed into a crock, air pockets removed, and sealed. The shikomi is complete. And then, the handlers walk away, because what happens next is called Hatcho, fermentation. The characters mean to emit, and yeast activity. The signal has been sent. The agents are now broadcasting. Agent 1, the advanced team. The first agents to move in are lactic acid bacteria, Lactobacillus plantarum. Salt-tolerant, acid-producing, and completely invisible to the naked eye. Their job is perimeter control. They consume the sugars koji left behind and produce lactic acid, dropping the pH of the entire environment. What was neutral becomes acidic. Now, pathogens can't establish themselves, can't compete, can't survive. This is the same mechanism running in kimchi, yogurt, in every traditional fermented food that doesn't kill you. Lactic acid bacteria don't just live in the miso, they make it safe for what's coming next. In Japanese, they're called myu-sankin, milk acid bacteria, named for the same lactic acid they first produced in dairy fermentation thousands of years before anyone connected the chemistry. Same agents, different operation. Agent 2, the specialist. Once the environment is secured, pH dropped, competition eliminated, the second agent moves in, Zyga Saccharomyces roxii, a yeast. And not just any yeast, a halophile, meaning salt doesn't just fail to kill it, it actively thrives in salt. It was recruited precisely because the condition that eliminated everyone else are optimal for it. In Japanese, yeast is called kobo. The first kanji is ferment, the second is mother, the fermentation mother. And Z. roxii earns that name. it begins producing alcohols and esters, which are aromatic compounds. The complex, slightly fruity, deeply savory notes that make miso smell like something ancient and serious. It's not completely for its own sake. It's a deliberate flavor architecture that the mother constructs molecule by molecule over months. And the whole time, a third process runs silently in the background, the Maillard reaction. The same browning chemistry behind seared steak and toasted bread is quietly at work. The free amino acids from koji's protease operation are colliding with the sugars from the amylase operation, producing hundreds of new aromatic compounds and progressively darkening the paste. This darkening is called jukusei, aging. The characters mean to ripen and to become. It's a long con. White miso, or shiro miso, fermented for weeks, exits pale and sweet. Red miso, akka miso, fermented for up to 3 years, comes out deep brown, dense, and complex enough to eat on its own. The color is a timestamp. The darker the miso, the longer the jukusei. The cover. Here's where the case gets a little strange. Miso soup, consumed daily by roughly 80% of Japanese households, is a live operation. The lactic bacteria are still active in the paste. The yeasts are still present. When you dissolve miso into boiling water, you terminate all of it. The heat kills every organism that spent months building that flavor profile. Japanese home cooks have known this for generations, even without the microbiology. You add miso at the end, after turning off the heat, not because a recipe told you to, because someone noticed centuries ago that cooking the miso changed the soup. They couldn't name lactobacillus. They didn't know what xeroxii was, but they understood the rule: don't boil the miso. They were protecting the agents without knowing they existed. The enforcement arm. At some point, the operation got big enough that the government had to get involved. Japan's Ministry of Agriculture established a national JAS standard, a legal definition of what miso even is. Under that standard, any product calling itself Japanese miso must meet one non-negotiable requirement: fermentation using Aspergillus oryzae. Koji, our reoccurring suspect. Written into law, the cartel didn't just run the operation, it got codified. But the real drama was at the regional level. Certain miso varieties became so historically significant that producers applied for geographical indication protection, the same legal status that protects Champagne and Parma ham. You can't call it that unless it comes from there, made the right way. And then came Hatcho miso, a dark, dense, soybean-only miso from Aichi Prefecture, aged in massive cedar kegs for a minimum of 2 summers. It had been made the same way for centuries. When GI registration was granted, the government included a large-scale industrial cooperative alongside the 2 original centuries-old producers who had been making authentic Hatcho since the Edo period. The traditional makers fought it. They argued that the industrial product didn't meet the historical standard, that including it under the same protected name diluted the very designation the GI was supposed to protect. The case went to the courts. The regulators were dragged in. A paste that had been quietly fermenting in the dark for 800 years ended up at the center of a national legal dispute about identity, tradition, and who gets to own a name. That's what happens when a cover-up runs this long. Eventually, someone wants to claim credit. The verdict: 2 agents, sequential deployment, salt as the enforcement mechanism, the government as reluctant referee. Koji runs the shikomi. Lactic acid bacteria secure the perimeter. The fermentation mother builds the flavor. The Maillard reaction changes the identity, and at the end of it, you have a paste that has been hiding a living, active 2-stage biological operation in your kitchen cupboard for the last year, and a centuries-old legal battle over who gets to put a name on it. That's not a condiment, that's a tradecraft. And the name miso is its own kind of cover. The first kanji means taste. The second means boisterous, a character borrowed not for what it means, but for the sound it makes. Japanese scribes needed a way to write the final syllable of the word they'd inherited for fermented paste. They found a character that sounded right, and the meaning was irrelevant. They weren't labeling what miso is, they were encoding how to say it. Even the name is tradecraft. The Koji cartel seeded the operation. Umami handed us the fifth taste they tried to suppress. And now miso has shown us what a properly coordinated two-agent cover-up looks like. One that ran for 1,300 years before anyone thought to regulate it. So next time you make miso soup, don't boil it. Add it at the end, after the heat. You're not just preserving flavor, you're protecting a live ecosystem that took months to build and that your gut will actually use. Japan figured this out centuries before the science existed to explain it. That's worth paying attention to. If you want to go deeper into any of this, please drop a question below. I read every comment. In the next episode, we go deeper. Same koji logic, same microbial players, but this time running 2 fermentations not sequentially, but simultaneously inside a single vessel. The result is the most chemically complex alcoholic drink on earth. That's sake, and it should not be possible. Subscribe and see you in the next one.